and happy Friday to you. You guys, it is the Friday before Christmas. Can you believe it? I can't. I cannot believe how quickly this year has flown by. I can't believe the number of projects we have done this year. Can you just think back? I mean, when you think about how many different designs we've put together, and then not just the designs that I put together, but let's add to that all the designs that Andrea's done, that Becky's done, that Julia's done, that Deb has done. Like, there is a whole year's worth of inspiration. You guys, so many projects under our belt this year, and I am looking forward to the next. Are you ready? I'm ready. I'm ready to see what 2025 has to offer. I know that there are going to be more beautiful designs headed our way. But listen, if you want to see the designs that we made throughout the year of 2024, you can always come back and watch them as a video on demand. You can watch today's show as well as all of the other ones. You can go back and watch those as many times as you want to, be re-inspired. You can even see projects older than 2024. There is so much inspiration available on artbeads.com. You just got to check it out. All right. So now that we are all here, let's get into what we've got going on to today. What? I don't know. Words are hard. It's Friday afternoon. I've got holiday brain going on. I'm ready. I'm ready, but I got a fun project for you guys, so we are going to get into that. But before we do that, let's talk about all of the things that you need to know, all of the important information that is going to be really helpful as you are watching today's show. So listen, one of the other things I want to tell you is that I got some deals. So you want to stick around. Like, don't click off and come back. Stay right here because I got things to tell you. But let's get into it first. First things first, there's a shopping bag located on the side of your screen. You're going to click on that at any point during today's show, and it's going to bring up all of the items that are in today's show, all of the information about those items, and you can also put those into your cart as well as check out, all while still watching the show, so you don't have to navigate away. However, if you do have to navigate away, just like I was talking about a little while ago, you can watch this as a video on demand. You can watch it over and over again as many times as you want to. This is really helpful for after you've ordered your items and they show up and maybe you need to be re-inspired or you need to see the technique again up close and personal and you want to fast forward through all of the chit chat in the beginning. You absolutely can do that as many times as you want to. And as I mentioned, while you're there, check out all of the previous projects from 2024. And even before then, because there's so many to choose from. You should never have creative block. I mean, I say that. I get it all the time. So I know that you actually do get it. But if you do find yourself in creative block, you most definitely have a year's worth and then some of amazing projects. And you definitely want to check those out because it's helpful. I also like to put it on just as like background noise so that like as I'm beading, it feels like I'm beading with Becky or I'm spending my afternoon with Julie because I don't always get to see them. I love to see them in person, but it is not as often as I would like for it to be. So having somebody in the background while I'm working, it makes me feel like I am beading with a friend. And I hope that's the way you feel when you're hanging out here with us. All right, what else to tell you guys? So if you happen to be joining us from Facebook, you can still shop while you watch. There is going to be a little banner up in the top of your screen, and you're going to type in the codes for the items into that, and it's going to send you a link directly to the items to help you shop. Now, the one thing about shopping that way is that I can't see your comments, and I would really like to encourage you, though you can still shop that way, I would like to encourage you to come over to the main website, artbeads.com, and watch the show from the actual website. That is the way that I can see all your comments. You want to be here, part of the party, hanging out with us, chatting along with us, and just having a good time. I got to tell you, we have the most amazing community here at Art Beads, and so many of them are actively participating in the chat, and you don't want to miss out on any of that. Plus, sometimes every now and then we have some specials that are just for people that are joining us from that chat. So you want to be sure that you're checking that out. Now, while you are being a part of that chat, you also can continue the conversation over on our Facebook group. That is Serious Art Beaters over on Facebook. It's a great place to, like I said, continue this conversation or go to find some more inspiration. I just get overwhelmed. That's why words are hard. I just get overwhelmed when I think about the amount of inspiration and projects. Not only do you have all of the amazing designs from the design team, but then when you add in the Serious Art Beaters Facebook group and you think about all of the projects from all of our amazing community members that are there to get inspired by, you guys, the talent is just through the roof. Like if we all got together and worked on one singular piece of jewelry, we could break some sort of record, I'm sure. I'm sure. The most Czech glass beads used in one piece of jewelry. We should probably do that. We should probably do that. And while we're at it, do some other things like the most wrapped loops, right? Let's break some records around here. All right, guys. Now, if you do not mind to help us break the records by building the biggest community ever of beady friends, please share this anywhere that you can on social media. If you want to share it into a Facebook group that allows you to do that, or if you just want to share this on your own social media, we really, really appreciate it. It is a great way to help us virtually by word of mouth, virtually. Yeah. Told you it's Friday afternoon, to bring in new members to our community. It is a great way to reach people who have yet to experience this amazing community and all that we have to offer here. And if you would also hit those heart buttons anytime you see something in the show that you like. If you're just having a good time, hit the heart buttons. If you see a product that you like or a technique that you like, hit the heart buttons. It's a great way to let me know that I'm giving you content that you love, and I will continue to do so. All right, so Adrian's here, Mary's here, Susie's here, Holly is here. Who else do we have in the house? Hello, Donna. Hey, Kat. PJ's here. Wanda Woman is here. That means the party has already started. Debbie's here. So good to see so many familiar faces and some faces that I don't recognize. Welcome in. We're glad that you're here. Thanks for letting me be a part of your afternoon. All right, guys, let's talk about all of the things we've got going on, shall we? It is Deck the Halls with Raven's Journey Day. I don't know that it's just today, but for me, it's today. We're going to deck the halls with Raven's Journey. I've got Raven's Journey beads in today's show, but we also have a 35% off coupon code that you can use to get 30% off of a strand of your choice of Raven's Journey beads. You're going to enter that in when you go to checkout to get that 35% off. That coupon code is Raven35, no spaces, all one word. You're going to add that into that coupon or to the box to get that coupon and have that wonderful discount attached when you go to checkout. Don't forget to do that. Now, take advantage of that, right? Take advantage of that. If you're like me, I cannot get enough Raven Journey beads, and this is a wonderful opportunity to grab them at a discounted price. So definitely take advantage of that. But that's not the only thing I've got going on. I also have the deal of the day for you guys. If you've been checking out the website every single day, as you should be, we have a deal of the day today, plus some extras, because I get the Friday show, which means that I get all the deals of the day for the entire week right here for you guys. Now, here's the thing about the deal of the day. These are going to continue through the end of the year, so you want to be sure that you're still checking the website every single day to find out what the new deal of the day is. And while you're there, I also hope you're signing up for the newsletter and all of those other things, but be sure you're checking out that deal of the day, because the deal of the day is a wonderful item that we have hand selected that we wanted to bring to you at a discounted price. And not only that, but if you have that item in your cart, everything that is in your cart ships for free. So that makes that deal extra, extra sweet. Now, the deal of the day is actually a strand of beads that's in today's show. It is a pink opaline aster bead strand. It's a Raven's Journey bead strand. I'm going to show it to you when we get down on the mat, but I've got it right here for you guys. This one was regularly priced at $18.59. Today's deal of the day puts this guy at $8.25. $8.25. It was a regularly $18 strand. $18.59 strand is now $8.25. That's a heck of a deal, you guys. But that's not the only deal of the day. Because it is Friday, that means that the whole rest of the week's deal of the day items are still up for grabs for a limited amount of time. I have that best-selling 1 pound beading mystery mix that you guys have gone crazy over. This one is really popular, and this mix is a full pound of beads. It's regularly priced at $14.99, and it is at the deal of the day price at $9.99. You don't want to miss out on that one. For one thing, that's a pound of beads, and it's going to ship to you for free. That's going to be a heavy shipment already. Add in all of the other things that you want that you see in today's show. Add some more Raven's Journey beads. Take advantage of that 35% off coupon. And even though it's going to be heavy, it's going to ship to you for free, which is fantastic. Take advantage of that. I also have some German nose pliers that are one of the deal of the days that were regularly almost $34, guys. These are $33.89, and the deal of the day price on those is $15.93, which is absolutely unheard of. I don't really understand how it is that we are able to do the deal of the day prices the way that we are. All I know is that it's exciting. I'm not a math person, so I don't really know how it all works out. I don't know how they make it work without losing on our end, but I think it's exciting regardless, because it means that you guys get some really cool things. So not only do I have that strand of Raven's Journey, the mystery 1 pound mix, and the German nose pliers, there is also, you guys, a limited edition designer blend called Lovely Night. If you've not looked at it, click on it, because it is so pretty. It is just the most beautiful mix of beads. The color palette is absolutely lovely, and see there, Lovely Night. It is lovely. In fact, that was a great choice of words for the title of that one. And it was the name, I shouldn't say title, the $18.99 at $8.99. Those designer blends, guys, those are limited edition. Grab them now, because once they're gone for good. You guys know those are hand selected by our design team at the warehouse. They pick out every single bead. Those are first run Czech glass beads that have not been touched by anybody else other than when they were packaged and sent over here from the Czech. So you guys know that those are top quality beads that have not been pulled over. Literally the only other hands that have touched them have been our designers' hands to put those together in beautiful blends for you. So again, that is a regular price at $18.99, and that is today $8.99. You want to take advantage. And then last but not least, this is certainly not least, guys, there's a 10mm faceted labradorite. I don't know what I was about to say, but it didn't start with an L. A 10mm faceted labradorite strands. This is a Dakota Stone strand that is regular. Listen to what I'm about to say to you. Listen to the words. Regular priced $41.39. It is deal of the day priced at $16.58, and it's labradorite. What? I'm just gonna go home. Well, I'm already home. I'm just gonna be done now. We're done. Show's over. That's it. Like, how do I compete with the deal of the days? I can't. They're unheard of. Like, that's a little obscene. I'm just gonna say, like, a labradorite strand, and this is not like a little 4mm strand. This is a 10mm faceted Dakota Stone strand that was regularly priced at $41 and some change. That is $16.58. Listen, if it's not Christmas already, it feels like Christmas today. That's for sure. That's for sure. I could come up with some really cool things with all of the deal of the day items, and I know that you can too. All right. Don't forget, guys, any of those items that you have in the cart, plus whatever else you add, is going to ship for free, but you must have one of those deal of the day items in your cart in order for that to ship to you for free. So take advantage of that, and don't forget about that 35% off coupon code for the Raven's Journey. All right, now, speaking of Raven's Journey, I've got a show that is packed full of Raven's Journey beautiful beads. We're going to put together a double strand bracelet today using some really gorgeous things. I hope that you enjoy today's project. This is going to be a simple stringing project. Nothing hard here. We're just going to focus on the beauty of these beads. I'm going to get you to around, and we're going to get right into it. So let's walk our way through all of the beads that we have in the show. Hi, Georgina. Thank you. I appreciate that. It's amazing to me that I have this much energy at 4:15 in the afternoon on a Friday. But listen, they let me have this show spot. I'm not sure why, but usually by this time my brain has completely stopped working, and yeah, you never know what's going to happen around here. All right, so I know I talked to you guys about this one before, but I wanted to show it to you again because we are going to be using this in today's project. This is that pink opaline aster. That's the flower. Pink opaline aster has this beautiful wash on it, this like gold colored wash. These are coin shaped beads, and these are large beads. That's one of my favorite things about the Raven's Journey beads, is that most of them, not all of them, but a lot of them are what I would consider focal beads, right? This is a nice large strand of beads. There's enough here to make today's project, and then you're going to have leftovers. You're going to be able to make some matching earrings, some matching necklace, and these, you only need a couple of them to create a really amazing design. These are so pretty. It's pink, but it's also a little bit purple. And you can see where that wash kind of hits it. It darkens up that pink opaline, so it turns it into a purple. So you really can mix this with some other dark colors as well as some lighter colors, which is exactly what we're going to do. So let me show you the strand of Czech fire polish that we're going to be mixing with this. So you can see I'm really kind of drawing on those purple shadows that are part of this Raven's Journey strand and pulling that with this beautiful Czech glass strand. This is a 4mm halo ethereal regal fire polish. These are so pretty. The halo finish that is on a lot of the Czech fire polish that we have in the Art Beads or on the Art Beads website are some of my favorites. There's just something about that finish that really, it looks like the beads kind of have a glow to them, which I think is just really kind of magical. So these are going to be part of our design today, but that's not all. I've got others. I've got lots and lots more. I really kind of loaded up this bracelet project. I also have some Czech glass mint green silk with purple bronze finish. I love this shape. I love the color combo here. So this bronze finish is another one of those, like sort of like pulling from the shadows of this one. It has this purple touch to it. So it really works well. It's almost the exact same color as the fire polish here. They're calling it bronze, and I do get the bronze from it, but it's definitely reading purple and pink to me. So it's a really beautiful, beautiful bead. You can see this color palette that I'm kind of building here with all of these beads. And I've got another strand of beautiful Raven's Journey for you guys. These are a 8x10mm light gold with gold speckles. These little Saturn beads are so pretty, and the little band around them is faceted, so it gives them even more sparkle, even though they have that gold shimmer to them, which is just really pretty. Thought that was a nice addition to our little color palette that we're building. And that's not all. That's not all. I've got two different crystals for you guys to work with as well, in two different colors, which normally I think some people would not put these two colors together, but in today's project it really works. So I have some, let's see, where are the little packages, because I never can remember which one is which. So I have the 6mm in fuchsia. That's these guys right here. That's the darker of the two, which is really beautiful. And you can see how that really kind of ties in with everything. And then an unexpected color here to kind of bring a pop of brightness to the design that we're going to put together. And that is this Preciosa Indian Pink 4mm bicone. So I've added some pinks to this. Now I could have gone with purples, but I felt like the pinks were just a nice little addition, just something different. So these are the main beads that we're going to be working with to put together a double strand bracelet. And like I said, this is going to be a simple stringing project. We're not doing anything crazy hard here. However, we are going to create a cluster because that's one of my very favorite things to do. But we're really just going to be appreciating the simplicity of stringing together really beautiful beads. Now, as a spacer bead for this, you guys, I'm using some gorgeous Tohos. These are a size 8 in a gorgeous bronze. I could have used a gold or a silver lined here, but I wanted to go with something a little bit different, and I'm really feeling bronze lately, so we're going with the bronze. Now, on top of all of these amazing beads, all of the findings, and I don't want to go through those one at a time because I really want us to get into the project, but as we're going through and using the wire guardians and the crimps and the head pins and the jump rings, just know that all of those items are also a part of today's show. And if you need to stock up on those, today is a great opportunity to add all of those to your cart, throw in one of those deal of the day items, and it's all going to ship to you for free. So I definitely would get stocked up because there's a new year coming, which means a whole new year of designs. And you're going to need all of those consumables, being your jump rings, your head pins, your eye pins, all of those things. Now, one thing I did not mention that we are using, well, two things actually, that I do want to point out that we are going to be using in addition to all of those beautiful beads. We're going to use some leather. And we're using a gorgeous Raven Journey Czech glass button. So this is the button that we're going to be using, and you can see this is really kind of where I pulled the pinks. So you can see this is going to tie everything together really, really nicely. And it ties in the bronze and all of that. So this is going to be our clasp. We're going to be using a button, and we're going to use some leather to make ourselves a little buttonhole to hold all of our jewelry together. All right, so let's get into it, shall we? Let's put together something pretty. Also want to mention that not only are all of the findings, but so are all of the tools. Those are available in the show as well. And I got good news. For those of you who've been waiting on these, the baby wubbers are back. So if you have been waiting for the baby wubbers, the round nose ones, to be restocked, they are restocked. They're available right now. This is one of my very favorite pairs of round nose pliers. I'm just a sucker for the smaller baby wubbers because they fit my hands really nicely. So if you've got a smaller hand and you kind of struggle with trying to find a round nose plier that fits nicely in your hand and you feel comfortable making those loops with, this is a good choice. So this one's back in stock if you want to grab it. All right, so we're going to start out with our bead stringing wire, and we're going to do 2 strands of a bracelet. We're going to string each one of those. I am using some of this beautiful 49 strand medium clear 0.019 inch. That's a 0.48 millimeter bead stringing wire. It's so soft and so supple. I really, really have fallen in love with this. Plus the fact that the packaging, we've all decided as a community, could create world peace. Look at this packaging. I don't have to deal with a clip. I don't have to worry about it undoing. It's like the most genius packaging, yet so simple. I love it. Absolutely love it. All right, so I've got a strand ready to go here, and I'm going to grab myself a crimp bead. If you need a crimp bead, grab some because they're definitely in the show, as I mentioned. All right. And I'm also going to grab a wire guardian. Now, you don't have to use the wire guardian if you don't want to, but I do prefer to use a wire guardian when I am creating some stringing projects. All right, so I'm going to thread on my crimp, and then I am going to thread on that wire guardian. So I'm going to take my beading wire up through the wire guardian, and then back down through the wire guardian, and down through my crimp. All right, now I'm going to make sure, and I want you to make sure too, anytime you are doing a crimping project, make sure that those bead stringing wires, because there's 2 wires running through that crimp, that they are not touching each other, that they are running parallel inside there. And we're going to take that crimp, we're going to place that into the back notch of the crimper tool. You can see the back notch is the one that looks like a little pair of lips. It's got that tooth that's coming down in the middle. That tooth, once you close this over the crimp, is going to further separate those wires out. It's going to put one wire on one side and one wire on the other side, and it's going to crimp that metal down between them so that they are not. Don't crush your crimps closed. You need to be using proper crimping technique to make sure that you have the best opportunities for success and the longest life possible for your piece of jewelry by crimping properly. All right, once you've done that, then you're going to take that crimp and you're going to turn it sideways, and you're going to place it into the front notch of your crimper tool. Turning it sideways is really important. Then you're going to give that a squeeze. And all that's going to do is it's just going to tidy it up. It's going to make it nice and small and compact. It's not going to distract from the rest of your design. It's small, it's out of the way. Give it the tug test. Make sure that you have crimped properly and you're ready to rock and roll. Now, if you've crimped properly, you don't need any extra bead stringing wire. So you're just going to come in with your cutter and trim off the excess. And now we're ready to rock and roll. Let's do this. All right. Oh, up close. close. I'm sorry, I missed you up close on that one, but I will get you on the next one. But here's a good up close of what the finished crimp looks like, so you can see. See how, I don't know if you can tell or not, but you see how that metal is coming down between those two wires? That keeps those two wires from touching each other. And you literally can see that they are separated inside that crimp tube. Super important, super important. All right, great. So now Debbie has cookies cooling and then pecan pie. Debbie, I think it's safe to say that we are all on our way to your house right now. As soon as I'm done, who's going with me? All right, I'm going to dump out some of these seed beads. I know everybody's got some amazing holiday goodies being cooked currently. That's my plan. As soon as I'm done here, I'm on my way to start a load of laundry, and then I'm making some party mix. I've got a whole menu of things I'm going to start cooking tomorrow. All right, now I'm using these beautiful little seed beads as spacers, though these seed beads could be used in a lot of different ways. I love to use them as a spacer though, so I'm going to take one of those and I'm going to thread that on. It's going to be my very first bead. All right, now let's bring in those crystals. Dump these out right here. So we're going to use a little combo of these. All right, so I'm going to pick up one of the larger of the crystals. So one of those 6mm. I'm going to do another seed bead. And then one of our deal of the day beads. Add these to your cart and everything else is going to ship for free. One of those. Another seed bead. Another crystal. And I will move all of my hands out of the way so that you can see this here in just a second. I just want to get a few of these beads on here first. All right, so far, that's what we've got. Using those little seed beads as our spacers. The Hall of Justice laundry needed working on, says Wanda. Wanda, you're funny. All right, now I'm going to thread on one of these minty green. I love these. Going to thread on a seed bead. And now we're going to do two of these guys without a seed bead in between them. Just kind of change things up a little bit, right? Just because I'm using them as spacers, the seed beads as spacers, doesn't mean that I have to put them in between every single bead, right? They're part of the design as well. So, all right, putting all this together, you can see these beads just work so beautifully with each other. All right, so now I'm going to pick up another bicone, or I'm sorry, not a bicone. Oh, a seed bead, which I had already done. Just kidding. Gonna pick up another one of the mint beads. Told you it's Friday. I don't know why they let me keep this time slot. You would think I would be sharper on a Monday, but I don't know. I'm not mad about it. It's a great way for me to finish out my week. So, all right, now we're gonna do one of the bicones, which I tried to do a second ago with that seed bead. Do another seed bead. One of our deal of the day beads. And another seed bead. And we're going to call this the middle. So just kind of showing you where we're at. Okay. Now we're just going to repeat this pattern that we've done here over here. All right. So the next thing to pick up would be one of those 6mm beads. Okay. A seed bead. Wanda says, do I spy an injury? That's an old one, Wanda. It's actually been there for about 2 weeks. You're slipping. You're slipping. Yeah, but yeah, you definitely need to reset. It was a pliers injury. It's always a pliers injury. Always. Never fails. All right, 2 of those beautiful Saturn beads. They are 8/0. The seed beads are 8/0. It's a great size for a lot of different things. But when you really truly want that seed bead to be part of the design and not just as a spacer that disappears, I feel like the 8/0 is a great size for that. All right, another one of our minty beads. Seed bead, bicone, seed bead, our last of the Raven's Journey coin beads on here, a seed bead, a bicone, and a seed bead. All right, now that's going to finish up this strand. Now, if you just wanted a single strand bracelet, this is a gorgeous bracelet. But I'm extra, so I turned this into a 2-strand design. But look at that color palette. That's just beautiful. And these may be some colors that you may never have thought of putting together before. But I'm always trying to look at color in a different way. Color is one of the things that with jewelry making I struggled with the most. And I know that some of you might not believe that that's true, because a lot of you have told me that I put together colors and I'm really good at doing that, but it wasn't something that ever came naturally to me. All of the techniques, that comes easy to me. The technical parts of things I'm really good at, but it's the mixing of the colors and the textures that is one of the things that I had to learn how to do. And it just takes practice. And so I am always looking for unexpected colors to put together, things that I wouldn't necessarily put together, to see if they work. Because I don't think a lot of people would throw this pink color in there, but we're going to in our next strand, and it works. You'll see. All right, so we're going to crimp this one, and then we're going to start a new strand. So I'm going to thread on my crimp. And our wire guardian. Don't forget, you can grab these while you're watching today. Add all of these little extra findings. Add a deal of the day. Get them to you shipping free. Get ready, because 2025, we're going to rock and roll with some amazing designs, and you want to be ready. All right, so same steps here. It's a little bit different when you're crimping on the opposite end of something, because you are working in a very small space. When you first start out with your crimp, you're working in an area where it is just the crimp bead and the wire guardian. There are no beads up against it. You have all the space in the world to get that crimper tool in there, and you don't have to worry about it. But when you get to the end, it's a little bit different, and it can be a little bit more tricky. One thing that I always find is the most tricky is to make sure that those wires are not crisscrossing, because once they get to this point, with all of the weight of the beads on the wire, it kind of wants to twist and turn on you and not behave. So you got to be extra careful at this point before you crimp to make sure, again, that everything is where it needs to be. Those wires are not crisscrossing, and you're going to place that into the back notch of the crimper tool, and watch this metal. See how it just comes right down and separates those wires out? That is exactly what you want. Then you're going to turn that sideways, and you're going to put that into the front notch of the crimper tool, and then you're going to give that a squeeze, and you can see it just further pushes that tooth to separate everything out, and it just makes everything a little bit more compact. So it's not going to take away from your overall design. All right, coming in with my cutter, trimming off. All right, there's strand number 1. Let's start strand number 2. All right. All right. Pull from this magical packaging. Trim off. All right, let's get going. So same steps. Our crimp, crimp's coming on. And then we're going to use our wire guardian. So thread that on, go back down through. All right. Separating out those wires. Okay. You want to see the packaging of the wire again. So Kara missed for a phone call. So I'm using the 0.48 millimeter, and that's totally fine. I don't mind to show it to you again. It's in the show if you want to grab some of it. This is my new favorite bead string and wire. It's 49 strand. It's really soft. It's really supple. And the size is a really good size to fit just about everything. So this is a great one. Great beading wire. Cannot sing its praises enough. All right, going to place that into the back notch of the crimper tool. And again, you can watch how that metal is just going to come down in between there, separating out those wires. You're going to turn that sideways, put that into the front notch of the crimper tool and give that a squeeze. And then you're going to come in with your cutter and trim off. Yeah, so that's a really good question as far as how much of the bead string wire am I using and what is this length of the bracelet. So I will tell you a couple things. First thing is that this bracelet is a little bit on the long side, at least for me. I have a very small wrist, but this bracelet is not for me. This bracelet is for the sake of demonstrations. I'm going to show you the length of this before we add the hardware to it. So let me flip this around because it's a great question. And this is going to help us understand how much wire we need to cut. So with the wire guardians on the end, this is a 7.5-inch bracelet. Okay. That's actually much longer than what I personally would need for myself. And it's actually going to be more like an 8.5-inch bracelet because once you add your hardware to that, that would be 2 jump rings and a clasp, unless you're using a decorative clasp. It could be even more than that. That means that this is overall going to be about an 8.5-inch bracelet. So your hardware usually adds about an inch, give or take. Now, because I need a little bit extra wire to crimp, if I'm doing a 7.5-inch strung before the hardware, then I need about 9 inches of wire cut to crimp comfortably. Right? You are going to have some, you're going to have some leftovers at the end, right? You're going to have about an inch of wire that you're going to trim off and it's just going to get thrown away, but it's necessary in order for you to crimp comfortably. There's nothing worse than trying to crimp with like the tiniest little minuscule piece of wire coming down. It's really hard to do. So I give myself an inch on either side when it comes to trimming the wire. Now, if you want to shorten this bracelet up, you want to do this exact same design, but it's going to end up being a little bit too long for you, take the bicones off the ends. Now, that you may think that that's going to take away from the overall design. It's really not. One bicone missing from each end and just finishing with the seed bead is going to be fine because you still have 4 of these beautiful bicones in the rest of the design. Nobody will even notice. Okay, so you definitely can take some beads away if you need this to be a little bit shorter. All right, now the second strand of this bracelet is a little bit more understated. This one has my focal beads on it, has a lot going on. So the second strand of this bracelet that's going to go with this is going to be a little less. So I'm going to sit this one over here to the side and I'm going to bring in the beads that we're going to be using, which is going to be these seed beads, this brighter pink of the bicones, and we're also going to be using, actually let's move these to the side because I have all this already ready. Some of those beautiful Czech fire polish. Okay, so we're going to start out with 1 seed bead. Okay, so it's going to be a seed bead on the end. That's just our ending seed bead. That's not the beginning of the pattern. I'll show you where the pattern starts. We're going to do a bicone. We're going to do a fire polish, a bicone. I need to trim the end of that. You can see where I didn't get a good trim there. There we go. A bicone, and it's actually going to be 2 seed beads. So as I mentioned, the seed beads are actually part of the design. That's why I chose the size that I did. So the pattern, even though we only started with 1 seed bead, is 2 seed beads, bicone, fire polish, bicone. Okay, and we're just going to continue the entire strand that way. So bicone, fire polish, bicone, 2 seeds. Okay, bicone, fire polish, bicone, 2 seeds. Bicone, fire polish, bicone, and 2 seeds. So this is just a simple strand with a very simple pattern. The beads are small. This is just a nice companion to the statement strand of this bracelet. Now, if you wanted to do 2 straight statement strands, you absolutely can. There's no reason why you can't. But sometimes when I make a double strand, I like for the other strand to be a little less, just by a little bit. Not always, just kind of depends on what kind of mood I'm in. And today's mood was, our second strand for this little stack is going to be sparkly, but the beads are going to be small. If you wanted to throw some of those other Raven's Journey beads in here with this, you could. You absolutely could. If you wanted to pop one of those Deal of the Day beads, one of those pink opaline beads in the middle of this, you absolutely could. You could even add pearls to this if you wanted to. Like, you get creative. I'm just giving you a little bit of inspiration here. Just an easy project, something beautiful to lead you into the chaos of the, let this be the calm before the storm. This is the calm before the holidays, right? This is the calm. We're just putting together something beautiful. Maybe you need a last minute gift. Maybe you don't. Maybe you just want to put together something pretty for yourself. You're going to order all this up. It's going to get there. The holidays are over. The house is going to be quiet again, and it's going to be the perfect opportunity to sit down and make something special just for you. All right, stringing this up, and then we're going to crimp. And then we're going to add the razzle dazzle to this, because you know I can't do anything without adding some kind of dangle. So if you're missing the dangle so far, I got you covered. Just wait for it. It's coming. I'm so jealous. Susie's got 2 inches of snow on the ground. It's spitting snow. When I went to the mailbox, there's like little snowflakes just kind of floating around out there. I want the snow. Send it my way. I'll take it. You don't have to keep it. It can be your gift to me for the holidays. I will take it all. Keep the ice, but I will take your snow. Gina says for me to remember to do something nice for myself too. I shall try, my friend. I shall try. I think probably the biggest thing that I do for myself over the holidays is the treats. Yes, I know that my family loves all of my no-bake candies and, you know, the party mix and all that stuff. But quite honestly, the only reason that I do those things is for me. Don't tell them that. But that's my favorite part. I love party food. I could live on, like, quite honestly, I would not live healthily, but I could live like on gas station food. Grab an egg roll at the checkout. Grab a corn dog at the checkout. Grab a bag of Jolly Ranchers. Grab a bag of combos. Bag of pretzels. So over the holidays, I can kind of take that to the next level and make party mix and Ritz crackers with peanut butter dipped in chocolate and things like that. And like, it's, yeah. So lemon fudge. Oh my gosh, Michelle, that sounds amazing. I love lemon anything. So that sounds amazing. All right, there is our strand, right? This is a little bit more simple of a strand. It's got plenty of sparkle. But when you put the 2 of these together, you've just got a lot of magical color going on here, right? All right, so now we're going to crimp again. And then we're going to take this into dangle territory, which is my favorite place to go. All right, wire guardian going on. Georgina says she has 3 feet of snow. She says the shipping would be expensive, but I can have as much as I want. Definitely it would be expensive to ship it, but you know what? I would gladly take that from you. Maybe not all 3 feet of it, but I would gladly take some of that. That's a lot of snow. Never really thought about shipping snow and how much that would cost. Oh my goodness. Okay. All right, getting ready to crimp. That's funny. And there we go. Front notch, and give that a squeeze. Okay. Now, trim that off. Let's get these 2 strands together, and then we're going to move on to the cluster part of this. So I'm going to take jump ring between 2 pairs of pliers here, and I'm just going to twist to open, and I'm going to take both strands just like that. Now, if you want to add even more length to this, you can add an extra jump ring. I'm not going to. I'm going to go ahead and put my button on right here. Whoop. Maybe. Put my button on and close that back. All right, then on the other side, we're gonna do our leather. So remember, this is not a jump rings and a clasp situation so much as it is a buttons and leather situation, but the length, the addition of an inch to 1.5 inches is still exactly the same, okay? So it doesn't really change things too much as far as that goes. Grab another jump ring here. And just for the sake of putting all of these together, I'm gonna go ahead and put this on the other end, just so that it's ready to go. Okay, now I'm gonna sit this to the side, okay? This is what we've got so far. Sit this over here to the side because we're gonna create a little cluster to go with this. And I'm using the Czech fire polish for that, because we only used a handful of those Czech fire polish. Now, I did simple loops on all of mine. You can do, I'm sorry, I did wrapped loops on all mine. You can do simple loops if you want to. We're gonna do 2 of them together, but we're gonna have a total of 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 13. 13 of these. Do more or less depending on what size cluster you want, but you're going to put each one of these onto a head pin and either do a wrapped loop or a simple loop. Okay. All right. So I'll do 2 of these together. We'll put our cluster together. One more little dangle situation because I'm extra, and then we'll get finished. All right, so I'm grabbing the wire right where it is exiting my bead. I'm gonna bend that wire over the top of the pliers, let the pliers do all the measuring for me. And then I'm gonna come in with my round nose pliers. Okay, I'm gonna go up and over the top barrel of the pliers, and then I'm gonna rotate those pliers in my hand so that I can take that wire over to close up that loop. All right, and then I'm gonna switch hands, and I'm going to wire wrap in that space between the loop that we just created and the top of our bead. And then I'm going to come in with my cutter and trim off. Okay, and then we'll do one more together, but you're going to do a total of 13 or more or less, depending on what size cluster you want. I know some people are going to leave the cluster off altogether, and that's fine too. Right, up and over, rotate, take the wire over to the other side. All right, guys, now we're getting closer to the top of the show here. We're almost done. Just want to remind you guys that if you add any of the deal of the day items to your cart, anything else that you've got in your cart is going to ship for free. Not only that, but we're also running a Deck the Halls with Ravens Journey special right now 35% off coupon code. That is Raven35. You're going to enter that at checkout to get 35% off of your Raven's Journey additions to your cart. So you definitely want to take advantage of both of those. I would mix those two together, right? Get my 35% off, add my deal of the day items to the cart, get it all shipped to me for free, and it is Christmas for you. All right, now we are going to put this together to create a cluster. Now, a lot of you have seen me do clusters a million times, but for those of you who have never seen me do this, I'm going to show you step by step how to put a cluster together using some jump rings. So we're going to take a single jump ring and we're going to go ahead and open it up. This one's already ready. We're going to thread on a single bead, and then we're going to use our pliers and we're going to close that jump ring. Get a good closure on that one. This one didn't close very well. Okay. Now you're going to take a second jump ring and you are going to hook that to the jump ring you just closed. So now you have a jump ring with a bead on it, and that is hanging in what is going to be the middle, because we're going to put a bead on either side. We're going to put a bead on the left side, and then switching hands with my pliers, I'm going to put a bead on the right side. It's really important that moving upwards, you put one bead on each side. That's going to keep your cluster nice and balanced. And then I'm going to close that back. So see how those are hanging? One bead on either side. All right, now we're going to go up a jump ring. And we're just going to repeat that process. So we're going to hook the one we just closed, and again, a bead on the left and a bead on the right, and then close. And as you build upwards, you're going to have this balanced, it's going to look like a clump of grapes. But if you've got more than one bead per side, it's not going to hang correctly. It's really going to be kind of off kilter. So be sure that you got everything balanced. Even when you pick up with your jump ring, you want to be sure that you're picking it up so that it is the middle of those two beads. Next beads, close that back. Okay. Next jump ring. I think the hardest part of this is picking it up and putting it down, and when you pick it back up again, making sure that you hook it onto that last jump ring instead of one of the other jump rings in the middle somewhere. All right, you're going to close that back. Go ahead and pick up my next jump ring, hook that on. A bead on either side. Close that back. Last jump ring, and unfortunately this jump ring's closed, so I'm going to have to put everything down so that I can open this one. What in the world? Where is the opening of this jump ring? There we go. I had a little issue there. All right, now again, make sure that you get that top jump ring and that it's both beads, or one bead is on each side. Don't accidentally pick it up with both beads on the same side. All right. Okay, that's our cluster, which is really, really beautiful. And it's hard for you to see it from this angle because when you lay it down, it just looks like a mess. But trust me, when this is hanging, everything hangs correctly. It's all balanced. There's beads on both sides, and then the one bead on the bottom that hangs just a little bit lower. So it really kind of gives it that cluster of grapes kind of effect. All right, now you're going to pick up another jump ring. and attach that to the top. And this jump ring is going to be the jump ring that we attach to our bracelet. I'm going to close this back and sit that right there. That jump ring is a little bit bigger, so I don't have to worry about losing it. All right, now we're going to do 2 more little dangle doos. We're going to wire wrap 2 of these just because these are my favorite beads and I want to add those as well. So each one of these is going to go onto a head pin, and then I'll show you where these are all going to go. All right, I'm going to bend the wire. Round nose pliers are coming in. Uh-oh. All right, up and over. Rotate, take the wire over to the other side, and then wire wrap. All right, so there's one. And we're going to do one more just for good measure, because you can never have too many dangles, at least for me. If it's not your thing, leave all the dangles out, turn all the dangles into earrings, make the dangles a pendant. It's up to you. It's up to you. I just like so much movement and sparkle in jewelry. So any opportunity I can hang something from something else, which is also why I adore Christmas trees. See, there's definitely a theme. There's definitely a pattern in my life. All right, so I'm also going to take another jump ring to put these 2 together, and that will be the jump ring that we attach to our bracelet. Now let's go back to the bracelet here because we need to put everything together, and we still have some leather here. So let's do that. We're going to take our leather and the jump ring on the side that does not have the button on it. I'm going to take my leather through that jump ring, and I'm going to bring my 2 ends together. And I'm going to tie an overhanded knot. And I'm going to bring that knot down close to that jump ring as I can get it. Then I'm going to come over just a little bit. I need to come over enough to give myself enough room for my button to fit through, because essentially we're creating a little loop for our button. So coming over about 1 inch, their overhanded knot. There's our loop for our button. And I'm going to trim the excess. And before I do anything else, we're going to attach all of our dangle doos. And yes, dangle doos is the official term. All right, so that jump ring that I just closed a few minutes ago, I'm gonna open that up. And you literally can put these anywhere, but I'm gonna put them on the leather loop. So wiggle that on right there. And the same thing with the other 2. I'm going to put them on a single jump ring so they're together as a little beady cluster. And I'm going to put them right next to that. Close that back. Put my button through. Oh, I might have made mine a little snug. Let me go off camera here for just a second, guys, because it's underneath the screen and I can't see what I'm doing. Hold on. I definitely think I made my loop for my button a little small, but if I wiggle it enough, just a second. Oh gosh. I get that too small? Oh, it'll fit. There we go. All right. It will fit. I don't have to worry that it's going to fall off. That's for sure. And there you go. You've got a beautiful double strand bracelet with all kinds of fun stuff going on. You've got the gorgeous button. You have all of these amazing beads. You've got some dangles off to the side. Like, that is a pretty happy bracelet right there. That is a fun one. I hope that you guys have enjoyed this one. Now, don't forget all these beautiful beads, guys. 35% off with that coupon code RAVEN35 at checkout. And be sure that you also have a deal of the day item in your cart, and it will all ship to you for free. Take advantage. You don't want to miss out. Getting a discount on the Raven's Journey beads doesn't happen all the time, right? It's definitely a good discount. So you don't want to miss out on the opportunity to stock up on your favorite Raven's Journey beads or button, right? And get ready for the new year. All right, guys, I'll show you this bracelet from another point of view. Sometimes it's nice just to get the colors from this lighting versus the matte lighting, so you can see all of those beautiful colors together. All that texture, so much fun. The dangles, like I said, if you don't like the dangles on the bracelet itself, turn those into earrings. Put it on a long piece of chain. Get some extra leather when you're grabbing the leather for this bracelet and turn it into a leather, just like a really long, you know, clustery tassel on a piece of leather for a necklace. Keep it simple because you've got this really like rock star bracelet going on. So I think the other pieces, you don't need to do as much, right? You don't have to overdo it unless you're me, and I overdo all the things. So there's a reason why I'm in this job. Can you tell? All the sparkle, all the dangle, all the things, just send them my way, right? And then some snow if you don't mind. I don't ask for much. All right, my friends, thank you so much for joining me this afternoon and letting me be a part of your beadie journey. I appreciate you so much. I also appreciate Eric and Michelle for working so hard here as always, and all of you for hanging out. You guys have an amazing rest of your Friday. Have a great weekend. I will see you guys again on Friday of next week. Same time, same place. So set your reminders. Even though it is the holidays, doesn't mean that the deals are going to stop. So be checking daily for that deal of the day on the website. I'll be back with you on Friday for another fun show. And then we're going to get right on into 2025. All right, guys, have a great rest of your day. I love you. Merry Christmas and happy holidays. Bye, guys.